Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Man, probably a fun fact on me is that I like to read. Like I like to read. That's a lost art nowadays. Oh, my great uncle is Jesse Owens. He won 4 gold medals in 1936.
I always want to leave people with this, man, to all the viewers and everybody out there, man. Make sure you guys finish your story. Make sure you guys finish your journey because somebody's going to need it.
Yeah. All you got to do is push the back button. That's all you got to do is push the back signal.
Try not to think about the future too much so you can maximize the now.
Who's your favorite rap artist?
Man, to be honest, it's crazy. Tupac always been my number one, right? Like he got me through so much stuff, but Lil Wayne has been in the modern day.
I said, what does it really take? What does it really take to be great, Drew? And he looked at me and he was like, you really want to know? And he was like, to be honest, everything you did to get here, you need to be consistent times 10. Taco Tuesday. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It's your boy, Coach Lee. Welcome to the Chop Up on this fine Tuesday night. Hopefully, y'all's week is going well so far. We 3 days away from the weekend, but we're back at it like we're mad at it. Time to do the Chop Up. We'll talk about any and every topic. Y'all hit drive this as always. Let's get the crew up in this bad boy, man. First off, right off the bat, we got to bring in my man, Jake, not from Save Farm. What's happening, man?
Not too much, man. Back to work this week, but I'm trying to, relax, get everything back. Rolling with a little Japanese cherry blossom on the side to get my zen from dealing with all the dumb shit. But other than that, I'm feeling good.
Absolutely, man. Man, we're looking forward to kicking it with y'all as always every Tuesday night on the Chop Up, like we like to do. But before we can get started, let's get a man Chew up in here with that hot fire.
Oh, in my hand, in my out. I don't know what it is. Down south, all around. We here. Chopping up. What's going on? Taco Tuesday. Put a little hot sauce in it. Yes, sir. Do it again. Put a little hot sauce in it. You know what I'm saying? Hope everybody's having a great time. You know what it is, man. Hope you guys are having a great day as well, man. Shout out to everybody who follows, listens every night, listens on your rides in the morning, but it's good that we're all here.
Absolutely, man. So, how's your day so far, dog?
They so, you know what I'm saying? It's been the last few days been slow, you know what I'm saying? We had the Arctic chill during the weekend, still have the effects of it, so it's a little chilly, but, other than that, the days are going, sports is thriving, chopping up is thriving, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising when everywhere else is getting really cold besides Cincinnati. We had a nice, almost 50-degree weather yesterday. It's going to be like 58 on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it. But I will say, freaking, Texas, right? Supposed to be really warm, really hot. They got hit with that massive ice storm a couple days ago, and it messed up my anime flow. They do the Funimation dubs down in Texas. The ice stopped it. I couldn't get my new My Hero of Academia show on Saturday because they couldn't get no one in the studio to release the dang episode.
Yeah, man, canceling out everything from schools to work to potentially TV shows. You know, as we just found out.
Right? Were you inside the whole time, Coach?
Yeah, I was. I didn't go nowhere. I don't get out on that ice, man. We already can't drive down here. You throw ice into the element,
right?
I'm good.
I was seeing a TikTok. I saw this one lady. She had to get down, all the way down, and crouch down and like do the penguin walk to her car while she was sliding down trying to get to the car. I was like, man, Texans really don't know how to deal with the cold, do they?
We
wow.
don't. So most of y'all roads up north are like tar and stuff, right?
Yeah, and
that's concrete down here.
It's terrible. It's terrible down. It's terrible over here. It's a mixture of concrete and tar over here. You know, but you know, seems like the city doesn't know how to fix the potholes. I don't know if that's an issue in any places that y'all live at or places you drive near, but you know, yes, definitely, you know, issues over here with the roads, and I laugh at it because it's the funniest thing. Me personally, we're gonna, I believe, you know, this is a good segue, you know, in terms of roads, because kind of gets to, you know, maybe our first topic of the night. So I'll kind of keep quiet on cars and things like that. But in terms of the roads, yeah, great.
Hey, but you know, I just got hip to this. I did not know that this was a thing. But in Minnesota, did you know they have heated roads?
Yeah, they have heated roads. They actually was one of the first states I seen with the what's that new addition, the plug into the cars. So I went to Minnesota real young, and I seen that, you know, in terms of like their malls and stuff, they gated. So the way you can get in and stay in is basically to stay warm. You know, they have a bunch of, you know, bunch of glass sealed, you know, buildings and things like that. So skyscrapers and all that stuff. So, yeah, they try to keep very cool down there, you know, because it does get cold when it does get cold down there.
Yeah. No, I did not know anything about it. I did not know a heated road was a thing. So when I found that out, I'm like, well, it's really smart for Minnesota, matter of fact, because that's one of the coldest states, and they get the most snow and everything. It makes sense.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
I know, man. Hey, before we swing into this first topic, man, looks like somebody is ready to chop it up. Maybe he was crying from the onions he was chopping up. We don't know, but we're going to bring him in here. My guy, Will Yield.
Y'all know what time it is.
Trill Will.
Was good. I actually was chopping up. I was I had to put something in the oven. Yeah, I mean,
nice.
Put some,
what was you making today?
I put some baby back ribs in there. I had to.
What?
Yeah, I put them.
Sunday cooking on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Do some nice bourbon rub on them.
Willard.
Hey, freaking Will got done chopping me up on Facebook and was like, I just torched this guy. I'm about to make some ribs after that.
Time to really chef it up, you know what I mean? Hey, only my mother gets to call me Willard, so unless that's you, Ma, cut that out.
That's Kawan.
Cooking that hot opossum. You better stop that. That's for these folks.
Armadillo.
That's for these folks. That's that guy. That guy might make some possum, but not me.
Nah, I don't eat no possum.
Nah, I only said that because I was taking a ride. Part of my family from North Carolina, and we drove down there one year, and we on the road, and we hit an intersection, caught a red light, and we see a restaurant across the street, and the name of the restaurant was Roadkills. And their logo was a tire running over a raccoon. I was like, oh man.
I bet their featured item was road pizza.
I was like, only in the South, man, would I see something like that. Not up here. Liberals that had your ass hanging on the fence somewhere. You do that. Anywho, how we doing today? How we doing? It came in hot. I mean, you already know.
You came in hot. You landed safely though, and that's all good though, man. Now we just get ready to start our first topic for the night.
Oh, good. I ain't missed the topics then.
No,
I vote Coach goes last because his topic is fire again. Again. Or maybe in the middle when everybody's here.
It's all good.
You can do that as well. You can always hit the deer and take it home.
Hey, You know what? I was rolling through as soon as Will put up his topic. I'm like, you know what? Tonight's going to be a good show because I think we all hit some good ones. We got a good loaded show for you guys, and I say we're 10 minutes in, so that means it's a good time to let you know. You got to like it, you got to share it, you got to subscribe it, and let everybody know and join the page while you at it.
That's how we doing that.
On the mark, go to
Don DeMarco. Yo, we gotta stop. We gotta stop that. We're gonna get sued for that Don DeMarco part.
No, he ain't. Smack, like, I know Smack. I hit Smack up. Smack told me, man. Smack said, keep showing me love. Just for the
Said I
streets,
know
man.
Smack.
Speaking of that, man, you know what I'm saying? If you're a Smack DVD guy, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, man, to Boom P. You know what I'm saying? Passed away today, early guy rapper, you know what I'm saying? From Best Eye, doing this thing in the early circuit of rapping, Then he actually, put that into making a web series called Respect Life, which is one of my favorite web series of all time, in terms of the YouTube platform and just social media platforms all the time. So speaking of Smack, rest in peace to Boom P, man. But let's get on with our topics, man. You know what I'm saying? Great discussions. Hopefully we get some booming comments, some booming interaction, and get it in.
Let's do this. First off the bat, man, coming in hot fire. We got Jake.
Jake.
The floor is yours, brother.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
I was really trying my best to try to find like a super hot topic debate type thing, and I found one, but I'm gonna definitely hold it for next week. But this week I said, you know what? I've switched off. I go from personal to sports. So I found a good personal one. Your first car. You either love it or you hate it. And my first car was a car that was just a year younger than me. I had a 1997 Buick Century, the old boat. But I love that car, actually. I got it from an older lady. My dad helped me pay for it, obviously. I got it in 2014, so it was getting close to hitting 20 years old, and it only had 55K on it.
She ain't going nowhere but to the end of the road to hit the mailbox, huh?
Pretty much. It was a grocery trip and a small little here or there. It was insane. I'm like, this car's got to be in good condition. I saw the only thing that it needed was a new motor to help the window go up and down on the passenger side. It needed some brakes and rotors, and it needed an oil change. Other than that, car was good to go. I loved it. I had it when I took my son home. I had that car for a very long time, but I live on a busy street, and it got hit because it's such an old car. My wife was upset. I was upset. I had that car. We've been through thick and thin. I went on my first date with that car. I dated late. I was like 18 for it. But yeah, no, I love that car. That car was fantastic.
Man, that old lady drove it just enough to keep everything intact, like just enough to keep it alive. And then you got a beautiful. That's crazy.
She wasn't going nowhere. That's probably why.
Right. No, I know she just to the doctors and to the grocery store, and that was it. Right. And church on Sunday, probably.
That's all she needed for. And I honestly don't remember the story. I don't know if sadly she had passed away or if she just couldn't drive anymore and she was trying to get rid of it. I honestly don't remember that part. All I know is my dad said, I think I got a car lined up for you. It's going to cost this much. You only have this much in the bank. I'll cover the rest as your 18th birthday gift. I was like, well, thanks, Dad. That's awesome. Blah, blah, blah,
GG.
And actually, I got the car before I got my license. I waited till I was 18 because I didn't want to go through all the classes and anything. So I waited till I was 18 to get it. And when I got it, very first time I'm driving around, I'm like, man, this thing's great. Big old big wheel, too. Freaking. Nah, man, I loved it. It was a tan car. Both seats, the back was a whole big back seat, and then the front was like a bench. You lifted up the middle compartment, you had a whole bench through the front. If I had to, I could lay in that thing and go to bed in it if I was pulled over on the side of the road, but the thing never broke down. But nah, that's trying to think, because I remember I put in one of the things you had to have a good memory with it. And to be honest with you, I think my best memory is getting the courage to ask my wife if she wanted to hang out with me because she was like, super popular college girl. Everyone knew her in Clifton where we were. And I was just a little peon garbage man.
You got kicked your coverage, man.
10 minutes away.
Yes, he did. Attaboy.
Right? So I went on ahead.
No comment.
She's like, yeah, that was my biggest regret of my life.
She was like, I just had to get into that car, man. Like, my God.
Right? So I shot her the message. I'm like, because there was this dude that had asked her to hang out, and this dude's like, not like a creep or nothing, but he asked whatever, anything to anybody. And I'm like, man, if this guy's got the courage to ask that girl to hang out, why can't I? So I went like one of the thirsty dudes and posted on one of her Facebook things that she made. I messaged her, private messaged her on Facebook, and was like, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? She was like, yeah, I get off work at this time. Can you come pick me up and I'll take her back up because she don't drive? I'm like, oh, wow, this is real forward. All right, shit. Yeah, I'll come pick you up. So
he got upstream without a paddle.
Yeah. I was sitting at the house. I'm getting ready. I took a shower and everything, and I had like an hour and a half to get ready. I throw on the extra. I'm looking good and everything. I get down there. I pick her up. I ain't going to the extra bits of the story because there's a real funny part of that story, but I don't want to embarrass her. She's looking around, and I got the car, and I just got the headlights off. I go over. I'm about to go try to open the door for her, but she's scurrying out, running real quick, and she opens the door herself. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
So I open the door up, and I get in the car. She's like, aren't you going to turn it on? I'm like, oh, it is on. All I got to do is do this. She's like, oh, wow, for an old car, this is really quiet. I'm like, trust me, it runs. It's a good car. I get her all the way back up to the place that she's living in her apartment, and she says, all right, I'm going to run in real quick and change. I'll meet you up there. I'm like, are you gonna drive up there? She's like, no, I don't got a car. I'm just going to walk up there. And it's kind of a decent walk. I'm like, are you sure? I'll wait for you. Like, I'm trying to be the gentleman and everything. She's like, no, it's good. I go up to the hookah bar, and I order a hookah, and I have it ready for us. And she comes up about 45 minutes later, sits down next to me, takes the hookah from me, smokes it for about 5 minutes, looks at me and says, hey, so I'm going to go to the bar with my friends real quick. I promise you I'll be back.
Then she climbed out the window of the bathroom.
Rolled it down.
I'm sitting at the hookah bar, and she goes down the street to the bar. She drinks with her friends. She comes back like 4 hours later. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, nice to see. I didn't think you were coming back. So my best memory is picking her up because that's what struck the relationship up of me and her continuing to hang out and everything. But no, she came back 4 hours later, and she was like, oh, you still got a hookah? I'm like, yeah, but it ain't good to go anymore. I'm like, do you want to buy the refill? And she was like, oh yeah, that's no problem. Hey, I need oh man, it was hilarious. I'm like, but no, it's my favorite memory because that's how I was able to, start the relationship with my wife.
And it's embarrassing you, Jamie. You're embarrassing Jamie.
My man's warming the couch up as we speak.
I'm warming the couch up for tomorrow. Good morning. Don't come upstairs.
Babe. I'm not calling you out.
See what happened was.
I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying that you sat down with me for 5 minutes and said, hey, I promise you I'll be back. Yeah, I'm real hopeful at that point. I picked you up from work. I just picked this girl up from work, and she leaves 5 minutes after we start hanging out. I'm like, damn, I fucked up. But I couldn't go with her to the bar. I was 18, or I was 19. I was 19. I couldn't go.
Bang, bang, bingo phase.
Who that?
Who they said he gonna sleep on that couch?
But no, all in all, I love that car.
That's a great story, though.
I got to take my wife home in that, or not take my wife home in that car. I got to pick my wife up and meet my wife through having that car. Yeah. I got to take my son home from the hospital in that car. By the way, that car survived 2 bumps with other cars and barely got a dent in it because they made cars right back then.
That's how
you couldn't do nothing in that thing. You couldn't do nothing. It had maybe like 1 dent in it, and it was my fault. But the thing was a boat. It was perfect. You could fit 3 people in that trunk. Don't know why I said that, but you could fit plenty of people in that car with as much space as it had. It was like the old That 70s show. You could fit 3 people in the back, 3 people in the front. You could put $800 back then worth of groceries in there. You could probably put $400 worth of groceries in there now. But yeah, no, it was. I love that car. I don't think I have any other memories in it, but yeah, that's a '97 Buick Century, the old grandma car.
Buick Century, okay. I think I remember that one.
Okay.
And the thing is, the '97, it's like you can't find that car anywhere. I went online. I'm trying to find it. You can find it. You can find a 96, you can find a 98, but you can't find a 97. So finding parts for that thing was almost impossible too. It was like a 97 must have been a certain year or something, but I couldn't find it. By the way, that was also the car that I realized that you needed a key to the trunk to open it up too. You couldn't get in that thing without a trunk or without a key. Yeah, that guy.
That's it.
Yep.
I remember those.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
It was a tan one too, just like it.
Look at him go. That's what's up. That's a great
Like
story.
I said too, I mean, and for a sedan, it was a really big car too. Like no lie.
Roomy. It's roomy in here.
Yeah, pretty much. But like I said, I think my favorite part about it was like if I wanted to fall asleep, I didn't have to hop in the back seat to sleep. I just had to lift up that middle column and I could sprawl the fuck out.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Hell yeah.
But what were your guys' first cars?
What's up, Josh?
Mine's gonna be quick.
Go ahead.
I'm not much of I can drive, but I've in the city we move and shake. And in Boston, insurance be too crazy. So I when I was living in Boston, I didn't have a car. I didn't get a car until I moved down here in the Cape, which was only 5 years ago. I got it like during COVID. I got a 2014 Hyundai Sonata. I barely drove the thing. I'm about to sell it now. Yeah. No, I don't be driving like that. I just not my thing. I get annoyed. I trust myself to drive. I don't trust other people on the road. And but yeah, that's I got a funny ass story about some cars though. For one, I'll just say the favorite cars that I've been in my life right quick. My grandmother once got, I used to live with her. She loved Lincolns. She had one. Yeah. She loved them way back in the day. Shout out to Josh. But she got an 86 Lincoln. And she drove that till she couldn't drive no more. But before that, she had this old ass paddy wagon that the back door wouldn't close. The passenger side back door wouldn't close. So one day she goes, keep your hands. She said, buckle your seatbelt. I'm like, all right. She said, keep your hands and feet inside the car. I'm like, obviously, what are you doing? Because the door swung open. So Took's gonna understand what I'm talking about. The bridge coming over the highway in Brighton, leading up to Jackson Man, coming from that bridge. She pulls up onto the bridge and pulls up to the sidewalk real close, floors it, and lets that back door hit the pole. Bow! That door never opened again. Ever. Never opened again. My grandmother
She said, we gonna fix this door.
Just straight like that. Straight like that. My grandmother was a goon, man. But
he said she ain't never right now. Send me your bucket out for retired vehicles for $600 or $2K.
I said never open again, man. That was crazy. But yeah, man. So that's my quick little story. I can whip. I just don't like whipping, honestly.
Oh,
that's fair. Oh yeah. By the way, I probably should have added that in. Since we're talking about cars, I do want to know what like your favorite brand is too. While you added me, I'm a Chevy guy, and I've loved Malibu since my grandma had a '98. Other than that Buick, I've driven nothing but Chevy Malibu since then.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Sitting right in my driveway right now. Anybody need a car? Hey, yeah. Wait, one of the. I can confirm. Yeah, I came up from the mud with him, so he know. He met her.
Oh,
very nice.
See, for me,
anybody need a car, holler at me.
My first car, I actually inherited it from my grandmother. It was a 1978 Pontiac Grand Prix.
Ooh.
Two-door.
Ooh.
Straight middle.
You gotta pull that up. You gotta pull that up. We gotta see that. Pull that up.
You drive that up to college?
No, I didn't trust it in college.
we already discussed about how you can't trust the brothers he was going to college with, man.
But actually, it was a hand-me-down from my uncle that tried. I got it from him via my grandmother. It had red leather interior. And of course, your boy had to put, I threw the 215s in there. So one door wouldn't open and the other door wouldn't close. And I don't remember it's taking my little sister to school, and somebody had busted out the window, and I was too broke to get it fixed. And we rolling in the winter. It's just cold.
That cold weather coming in.
Cold weather coming in. But here's one here. I think it was silver with red interior. There it is.
Ooh. You should have got out that car with a hat with a feather in it.
Yep.
Lucky dice.
Shout out to Uncle Mel. Shout out to my man Uncle Mel, man. Right, man.
A pimp named Slickback.
Yeah, I love that car, man.
Was it red too? You said
It was silver with red interior.
Ooh. Gotcha, silver.
Had power locks and windows on it.
Final 49
nice.
Found they were 49 fans, son.
I know, right?
Yeah, Buckeye fans.
I'm glad so far no one's best memory of the first car was getting rid of it. Except Will, he's trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we about to get into it. You know what I'm saying?
Too soon, JJ.
The story gets crazy, so I'm gonna wait to leave Coach finish in. Yeah, definitely.
I'm done, man.
Oh,
fire away.
What kind of cars you two driving now? Shout out to you guys on your car story. You do as well, Will. We know you still currently have your car. You know, what cars are you guys driving now?
I drive a 2020 Malibu.
Okay.
I got a 2021 Santa Fe Sport.
Got these 2019 Adidas flip flops.
Oh yeah, I got the shoes I got on. I got on too, because I grew up in the neighborhood where, being young, we used to steal cars and drive them around and things.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
I wasn't gonna be the one to say it, but
and being in the city, right, and being in the city, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we get somewhere, we gonna get to the destination, we gonna get to the place and all that. I tell myself, man, stamp me for every city in Massachusetts. I've probably been in it. Some with a vehicle, you know what I'm saying, people driving, but more likely transportation. So in my 30s, I look to get my license in the summertime when it gets nice out, because like Will said, man, I just don't trust cars. I just don't trust people and all that. Maybe that's the reason why I have not got my license yet. But guess what? I have bought in a car before. So let's ride into it. So it was a navy blue. I know it's a Toyota Avalanche. You can look it up. You know, I don't know what year it was, but I was working down in the North End at the Hard Rock Cafe. You know, I was with someone, and ended up we needed a car to get around. You know, I was going to start my voyage, you know what I'm saying, to really get into cars and start driving to get my license and stuff. So I bought this car for about $500 off this guy. Didn't really care how to ask, you know, anything wrong with it, whatever. It was just going to give me the point A to point B in the city. I'm cool with that. You know, shout out to my boy Bro. You know, he put in the radio system. We was all ready to blast and clear. So, you know, this car lasted about 1.5 years, 2 years.
In the pig? Goddamn.
In regards to me in the car, it might have lasted like 6 months.
Okay,
I'm coming from a local Stop and Shop, you know what I'm saying? I had my permit at this time. I told myself I'm just going to drive to the crib. Lovely drive, but, you know, that's why they say, you know, don't, you know.
Right, police. Brookline police.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, you know. Don't impair yourself before getting in the vehicle. So, riding smooth. I missed a turn. And the time that I knew I missed a turn, I tried to reroute and turn anyway. And I hit a car, and police detail was at the scene. I stuck to something already. So the cop looks at me and was like, are you all right, first off? And I'm like, yeah. He says, do you have your license? I said, sir, I have my permit. I'm just driving. I'm trying to learn the road and stuff like that. He looked at me as if like he didn't even want to deal with the situation because he's, you know, making top dollar detailing. He let me go. I didn't hit anything. I almost hit the car. I thought I did.
Oh, okay.
After he was telling me. So
Officer Rogers, that's the only one who let us go.
Nah, it was some different cops around. You know, new age, new time. You know, I haven't been around the city in a minute, so that's what it was. So that car relationship with me in the car ended. But, you know, the person that I was with prior to that, you know, still had the car, so I was still in it. Until one day, you know, a couple people was looking at the bottom of the car, and they're like, man, you got to throw this car out, man. You might ride this car one day and die. As soon as I heard that, I said, yeah, we get rid of this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, you know, more of that is, you know, no car. But in terms of life for myself, you know, I've started to have a passion and love for different cars. You know, crazy thing about cars is I know once you guys buy your cars, you see a lot of cars that look like yours or similar to yours. You know, I see that with cars.
Oh, well, there was a time there between 2012 and 2016 where cars looked nothing like toasters. That's it. They just look like toasters, all of them.
And
between the PT Cruisers and the Scions and all that,
I lost confidence, man. I lost confidence and wanted to drive, so my permit expired. So then, you know, hit last year, you know, I said to myself, I want to start something. I want to do something that I've never was able to do in my life, and that's to get my license. So now I'm on the road to attempt to get my license, but you know, things trigger me when it comes to it. You know, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? I'm old, but in terms of it, you know, I'm gonna overcome the goal. I'm gonna climb the hill. You know, I want to do things the right way. Maybe do a little driving school. I mean, I can drive. You know, there's certain situations like that highway stuff and all that's a different breed right there. I feel like that's where you need to gain your learning of driving. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to have an instructor, you know, instructor around the roads and all that. But when you're in that predicament, it's every man for themselves, every lady for themselves. Safety first.
Well, I guess I can't give my wife shit no more about not driving. You guys just made me look like a damn.
Oh no! And everybody and people still to this day.
It's each their own.
People still to this day give me crap, but at the end of the day, I say it like this: nobody can tell me what and what I cannot do. Somebody can tell me I can drive and not drive. Now I have children. I'm gonna hope that my children are able to drive, and I'll get resources and people to get them to drive. If for some reason I'm not driving at 50 years old, but at the same time, I've never listened to anybody in the states of you get in a car, people talk about it negatively.
I don't like that.
You know me.
To be fair, I got Jamie. I got your back. Yep. I also am not a big fan of driving like that, but I will say I'm driving in Boston. That's where I would have been driving at. And you know anything about Boston, they're all crazy. They don't know how to drive. It's insane. You just driving in the woods of Cincinnati somewhere. you should be. Jamie, can I get $20, dog? Jake ain't going to Columbus because he over here talking crap. You know what I'm saying? So Jamie, enjoy Columbus, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's drinks on Jamie. She just freaking got that bet. Let's go.
Nice.
Man. Definitely.
Oh, what was her parlay?
Parlay was crazy.
It was a nice parlay. I'll tell you after.
Yeah, okay. Say less.
She bet $1, and she had soccer, tennis, basketball, hockey, and something else all in.
That's the way to go. No, that's the way.
No, she hit all of it.
You have to expand your mind when it comes to that because there's a lottery ticket. Like you can pick tennis is a whole variety, all that, but we'll get into that. But cars. Me personally, I'm on the road, guys. I'll let you guys know when I got my first car. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't had it yet. That's like a pre-tool. That's like a pre-show. You know,
my guy Cole said my boy had a Cutlass that would take naps. So if the engine started, we had to floor it.
If that carburetor was flooded.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That was my college car. I had to do the same thing.
That's crazy. Well,
I still want to get a Chevy Colorado, but every time I go out and I'm thinking about getting a truck, I always think back to what my dad said. He's like, "Are you hauling anything? Are you going to be putting anything in the back and taking it?" I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "So why the hell do you need a truck then?" I'm
just
like,
catching rain, just catching rain in the back,
and then I don't end up wasting $35,000 to $40,000, and I just drive around my $20,000 Malibu, and I'm happy.
Right. I learned how to drive in a Tahoe. That brakes was going. My uncle was like, "Yo, get it." My uncle stopped at a red light. Was like, "Yo, get in the front seat." I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, you driving home." I was like, "All right, word." Like, I hop in. He was like, "You gonna have to like lean on them brakes though." I was like, "Yeah, sure." I come up to the next intersection. He was like, "Hey, yo, start leaning on the brakes." Like, like 200 yards back. He said it. I'm like, I got this. He's like, no. He's like, yo, I'm telling you. So I go to hit it. Yo, it felt like there was no brakes. I was like, yo, you said like I got the lean on him, not like Florence.
Yeah, you started pumping on him like, fuck, man, what the hell's going on?
We pulled up. I was like this close to the car at the light, like, oh man, oh, that's crazy. You were.
By the way, neat little fact: I did not learn how to drive a stick shift until I worked at DHL where I worked, because I used to be a spill tech. So I just went around, cleaned up the packages that broke open and everything. The vehicles we had when I first got there were like these little golf carts, and they were stick shift. Little. I think it was a 2, maybe a 3-speed. I think it was a 2-speed, and I could not get the clutch idea down or nothing. And the girl that I worked with was like, all right, so we're gonna go out onto the ramp where the planes are, and we're literally gonna drive in a circle until you understand how to do this. So I know she ain't watching, but you know who you are. Thank you for teaching me how to drive that damn stick.
Fire. Well, all right, we got more juice out of that than I thought we was going to get. That was good, man.
Yeah, no shit. I thought that was going to be a 15-minute conversation, but that turned into.
Just when you said it, I'm like, damn. Like I know I'm not driving, and I didn't know Took's story, but I know he wasn't currently driving. I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to go, but we as usual, we squeeze the juice, man. So
we can turn a 5-minute topic into 30 minutes. That's just us.
Absolutely. So I think it's about that time for our first break, right?
Yes, sir.
So, as Coach would say, hold on to your butts.
Be right back. 15:20.
Warmed up.
What's up, guys? This your boy Gritty checking in. This Friday I'm live with STWF Media, man. Little interview coming soon with everybody. Y'all tune in, man. We got some big coming. Let's get it.
Back at it like we're mad at it. What's up, fellas? Y'all are hanging out with your boys at the Chop Up.
We're back with Coach Took, Will, taking the bait.
Did I miss something funny? I feel like I missed it.
Jake, this is you taking your break again.
Oh, I didn't mind. I didn't mute it.
Darth Vader. The Darth Vader. The force is strong with this one.
God, dang it. Hey, man.
So is the volume.
Monstrosity, man. The freaking drag 3. It's loud as fuck.
Absolutely. That's hilarious.
Man, that was Anyway, but
Chris, we see you, man. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight.
Shout out to you,
Mr. Bengal himself.
Nobody announces himself more than Josh. I love it. Josh here.
Hey,
man, we need to. Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to start getting some damn bloopers here.
We got stuff, man. We got stuff. Who's up next? Who's up next, fellas?
I can circle in, man. You know, this week is Super Bowl week. You know, we have the Eagles, we have the Chiefs. You know, we've been around for a very long time. Each and every one of us, you know, to watch some pretty exciting Super Bowls, watch some pretty lame Super Bowls, watch Super Bowls that you thought, yeah, this team was definitely going to win. And then, you know, Malcolm Butler snatches, you know, the ball and the soul of a team. But, yeah, so my topic tonight is simply teams that did not hoist the Super Bowl trophy, but probably were the best teams, you know, to not host them, you know. And I mean, that list can go top 100, top 50.
I was gonna say, look, it seemed like you're ready to challenge my 30-team reading, because this list is 50 teams strong.
Yeah.
We're not gonna even go there tonight. We're not gonna go there tonight. Definitely not. I already had trimmed it before we even went to it. I was just gonna go 5 on it, you know what I'm saying? And then you guys can, you know, get in there and see if there's any teams that you have in your mind, you know, as top teams. So let's roll down, man.
I thought it was scheme, plot.
Real quick before you hit that list.
Number 1 spot.
Real quick before you hit that list.
Number 5 on the list, we have the 1966 boys. Them boys are down.
Of course, them boys would be on that list.
NFL Eastern champions, Tom Landry at the helm. They lost 34-27 to Green Bay. in the NFL title game.
Ice Bowl.
Number 5.
Oh, that's the Ice Bowl, yeah.
Number 5 team, Josh. You would call me during the podcast. Only you would do that. Number 4 on the list, the 1998 Minnesota Vikings. This is a team. Really, I'm like, man, they didn't make the Super Bowl. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
which year was that?
The 1998 Minnesota Vikings.
Brady Moss rookie season. I'm pretty sure.
They win the Central
15-1. Yep.
Dennis Green at the helm. They lose to the Atlanta Falcons in overtime, a game that they definitely should have won. This is the fourth Vikings team to make this list. In the list that I'm reading, that's fitting since this was by far the most heartbreaking team in franchise history. You know, so
they lost to the Dirty Birds. They lost to the Dirty Birds.
Jamal Anderson, they were doing great. You know, you had the combination of Randy Moss and Chris Carter. You know, probably the best pair of wide receivers in the history of the NFL. But that's the number 14, the 1998 Minnesota Vikings. Number 3, the 1968 Baltimore Colts, 13-1. Don Shula at the helm. They lose 16-7 to Joe Namath's cigar in the New York Jets in Super Bowl III.
In middle school.
Had Mr. Johnny Unitas. They had 2 MVP quarterbacks that year, Earl Morrall and Johnny Unitas. You know that the era's greatest tight end, John Mackey, as well as the NFL's best defense, Chuck Noll's unit, recorded 4 shutouts that year, allowed 1 or fewer touchdowns in 12 of 17 games, and surrendered just 10.4 points per game.
So the Jets won that Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
Who was the defense coordinator on that team?
Was it Ryan? Was it Buddy?
Buddy Ryan.
Buddy, huh?
Buddy Love. Buddy Love. Why don't you pick up? On a podcast. What do you mean? How was the ball?
So Buddy was
Super Bowl.
Oh, I think that's what Josh wanted. Josh wanted to go live with us.
Josh, we can go live through the stream, y'all. We'll set that up. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. We were just talking about that.
We're just talking about it in existence. Yep. But hey, we can tap into one of these stream y'all one night session and we down to go.
So hold on. So Buddy was the
DC.
What DC of the Jets.
Yes.
And then full circle. So then Baltimore gets the hell out of Dodge and ends up with Rex Ryan later, his son. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy how that whole that's full circle right there for that family.
50 years later. 1990 Buffalo Bills at number 2. At number 2, this should be all the Buffalo Bills teams.
Is that the wide right?
I had a chance. But anyway, Marv Levy coached the 13-3 team to the AFC East Championship. They lost in the Super Bowl to the New York Giants this year, 2019. Only one Bills team made this list, and not surprisingly, it's the team that came literally inches of a Super Bowl championship. Although they said the 3 teams that followed also reached the Super Bowl, this is the only one that put up a real fight. And that was the most balanced.
So what year was that again?
90.
So that's the wide right with Scott Norwood.
That's what I was going to ask you, Coach. So is that the only one that's up there mainly because it was so close for them to win it? Because they went 3 more times and lost. Yeah. I'd have just put the whole bundle in there together. Like, y'all just...
It's sad. That's the only team that made it. Because, I mean, you would rank all those teams, I feel... But
that's the only team to make it 4 times in a row, right?
Yep.
And so this is just a media statement.
I didn't know that was a Jim Kelly. That's the only reason I was asking.
Jim Kelly lost every one of those. I feel bad for that.
You don't know who Jim Kelly is?
Yeah.
Wow, y'all made me feel old.
No, I know who he is. I'm saying
I know who he is. I just didn't know if those were Jim Kelly years.
Yeah. I just can't believe he lost 4 in a row, man. Yeah, that team.
You know what the rumor was with that, right?
What was?
They
mob work.
They was partying their ass off the entire time they was there.
Micah should offer trade capital multiple first rounds and bum QB for Rodgers.
Can we stop trying to make Aaron Rodgers Brett Favre?
No. He is Brett Favre.
He's going to go to the Jets first.
Oh, man.
So you wait 1 more year, Vikings fans. You'll get him. He's got to go to the Jets first.
Definitely. Hold on. We'll get LeBron. We'll have a LeBron quick session. Yes or no? Do you think LeBron makes the record tonight? I think he does. I'll be watching.
Yes.
I'm going to watch it.
36 points away, right?
Yeah. 36 to break it, 35 to tie it.
And who they playing?
Thunder.
OKC.
Oh, yeah.
She'll be able to.
I had a chance to be 130, 130.
I got Bumpy on mute already.
And there's no need. There's no need for it. The LeBron fans have a right to celebrate tonight when he does. So let's see how long the parade lasts. Let's see how
I
long.
think Will had enough of him. I don't see him responding to him no
The
more.
ultimate goal for him. The ultimate goal for him is to stay, not only stay in shape, but to try to make a playoff run. He's an athlete. He's still going to roll in, do all that, but he still wants to win. So let's see.
Yeah, my boy D White put up a post today that I couldn't agree more with. He was like, anybody like taking shots or doing the whole debate about LeBron right now, it's clown work. It's clown work. Like what he's doing is pure amazing regardless. You want to have the Kobe, Jordan, LeBron debate, have at it later. Let him
have his moment.
Let him bask in what he earned here. This is crazy.
Right, it is crazy. Definitely that we get to see this, man. 2007 New England Patriots, the number one team on the list, 16-0, went to the Super Bowl. It took a bite from a pit bull on my knee, you know what I'm saying, for the Giants to hear me out and beat them boys. You know, Tom setting records, Randy Moss on the side, you know, doing their thing. That whole Patriots squad looked like they was unbeatable the whole year. And then Eli Manning, you know, solved the riddle.
Chuck and Duck.
For the first time of 2 times that he was able to do it. So, in this case, in the Super Bowl, you know, this was the ultimate team right here, the number one team, you know, best team to not win it. Maybe not roster-wise, but in terms of the thrill, in terms of the magnitude and everything coming up to that game, yes, it is the New England.
I weigh in the most on this because it's my team. I'll say this.
Damn.
Our team. Sorry, sir. My fault. you all bangled out sometimes. I be forgetting.
I told you, hey, my wife dresses. Calm down.
I'm just messing with what I say is this. Defensively, was it one of the best teams ever? Nah, but they had a great defense. Offensively, statistically, the greatest team to ever be put on the field. Offensively. I'll never let Brady live it down. For those who love to say that Brady's humble, one of on media day, which was last night for this year's Super Bowl, on media day, one of the reporters asked him, "So, do you think you're gonna score enough to beat this team?" And he was like, "We averaged 40 points. What do you mean?" And then he went out there and put up 14 points. So. It just goes to show you no matter how good you are offensively, if you can get to the quarterback with 4, you can beat anybody.
Absolutely. So I named that 5.
Also, this shows where my pettiness of me being in my fandom is. I still don't like the Giants because of this.
Hey, I wouldn't like the Giants either if they stopped y'all, you know what I'm saying, from literally being the best team ever, you know, on probably 2 occasions, man, you know. This
is also why it hurts, why I feel the need to root for the Eagles this year, because Travis Kelce talked crap about our mayor here in Cincinnati. If you're from Cincinnati, you love Cincinnati. If you're not from Cincinnati, people either, one, don't care or think Cincinnati sucks. When you're from Cincinnati, you got a proud part of you, and you love this town. And when you talk shit about one of us, you talk shit about all of us. When you called the mayor jabroni, whether that was a promo or whether that was him, actually just you talk shit, so I'm talking shit back to you. Motherfucker, you went to Cincinnati University. You're banned. Get the hell out of here. Jason's always been better. Screw you. Go Eagles.
I don't know if it's a Cincinnati thing so much as Ohio as a whole. It's just
what?
What happens in Ohio? Bullshit. Like, I don't know what's going on there.
Wow. I messed that up. Skyline Chili. That's what happens.
That's fair.
Well, that's Cincinnati, but
we don't know who is that. What we got going on there? We don't got time for that.
Yeah, we don't got no time for that. Definitely not.
But what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I was going to say before we started the list was any team that Randy Moss was on is a disappointing non-Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah,
Randy Moss
on my list. Yeah.
In my opinion, I think Randy Moss is the greatest wide receiver to do it. That's just an opinion thing. I know Jerry Rice is out there. I know you even got Larry Fitzgerald and other guys in the past that have all went through it. T.O., all of them. In my opinion, I still think to this day Randy Moss is the best to ever do it.
Well, and even if you don't believe that he's the single greatest receiver ever, he's easily the single greatest weapon or threat ever. The biggest field changer that we've ever seen. The only thing close in terms of changing the field that I've seen since is Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Just raw speed, man. What can you do?
Who you think would have won between him and Dion?
I in a race or like in a one-on-one matchup?
I can want one-on-one matchup. I think it'll be 50-50 at best.
I think so.
I'm going to go with Moss.
I'm gonna go with Moss too, because here's why. Because there's an X factor where you can put it in a spot that Dion can't get to. If you high point it, right, there's nothing that Prime can do. Now, see, it was different when he was covering Jerry, because Jerry wasn't a jump ball high point guy. Jerry was perfect routes, great hands, in and out of the routes were perfect. All that was perfect, but you could defend that if you had speed, which Primetime had. In the case of Moss, not only is he just as fast as Prime, basically, but he's got 4 inches on him and a vertical. You could just put the ball high every time.
His jump was ridiculous.
Yeah, but not just, there's plenty of guys who can hop in the league. The point is being able to high point perfectly when the ball gets there.
What separates, I think, Randy Moss and Larry Fitzgerald, because they're my 2 favorites of all time that I personally got to see. Like I said, you guys all know I was born in '96. I haven't got to see the receivers of the past, but my 2 favorites to watch, it's like they had bubblegum, tar, anything that you could think of on their gloves, but they didn't. If it touched their hand, it wasn't going nowhere. It was like they had a big basket in their hand. Ball went to them, they had it. And you could see the most spectacular catches out of those 2 guys alone. And I love Larry Fitzgerald because he stayed loyal and stayed with Arizona. I wish he would have got a bowl, but the Steelers said nah. And then Randy Moss, it's a travesty that man don't have a ring.
Yeah. What you think of Aaron Rodgers saying he's going on a 4-day seclusion to make his decision, aka do mushrooms for 4 days? Hey, I take offense to that. Why isn't it spiritual? Just a question. Why wouldn't that be spiritual?
They do put you in another plane, they say.
Yes, it does. And do your research. All early religions had some form of psychoactive drug in it. Just because they don't do it no more, don't mean that's not where it started. Sage, check in the record book. Sage used to be Mary Jane.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Now they just make it Sage because Vatican can't really sell that. Can't have that cushion on deck. But yeah, I think good for Aaron. That's what he does. Like he goes and he reaches for the other planes of existence and finds his answers. Wherever you gotta find them.
Real quick, I don't know where that comment came from or why it was said, but we just got the context behind it. I don't take offense to nothing. It's cool. I know they said we don't need that stuff here, nothing. I don't think he meant it as super offensive. And you're right. There are plenty of Bengals fans outside of Cincinnati. I am with you. But there's a lot of people that don't like Cincinnati or the Bengals outside of the state or the town. But we appreciate you being here. It's still, I'm glad there's still some Who Days out there.
Yeah, let's keep it.
Well, man, he has since apologized. Chris Rick is a passionate Bengals fan. You can take offense, but can't heavily, take offense to calling the ass.
Race ain't got nothing to do with this. What I'm saying.
Appreciate you apologizing. You're one of the great members of the brand, the group, the show, and told. So, definitely, unbehavioral like wording, but we understand it. But it's different ways to, express your wordings. And when you type, you have time to think before you type.
Why Jerry had more touchdown and lasted longer? I mean, Jerry was just built different.
He's one of a kind. He's one of a kind.
But it didn't. More touchdown doesn't always necessarily mean that he also had Hall of Fame quarterbacks the entire time, pretty much. So
to start, he did.
To start,
like I said,
well, to start in through most of it, like started off with Montana, then he had Steve Young. Then I think he had his very end with the 49ers. He had Garcia, who still a Pro Bowl quarterback, and then he went to Rich Gannon. Is Gannon in the Hall?
No.
Okay. Well,
But he had a good year that year.
But like I said, like he compared to Moss having like Brad Johnson's, Randall Cunningham's, what was his name? Dante Culpepper.
Who did he have with the Raiders?
Aaron Brooks.
Okay.
Cool.
Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks and Collins, I think.
I can't have a wide receiver conversation with you guys because every time there's a wide receiver conversation, the man who should be in there is never mentioned. We hear no disrespect to Larry Fitzgerald, but shit, I'm not putting Larry Fitzgerald on my instant list of wide receivers. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But that's
you put him on that roster, they do the same thing, but less drugs.
Oh no, see, you don't even know what I'm talking about. You think I'm talking about that guy? I'm talking about the guy. I'm talking about that guy. I'm talking about T.O. Terrell Owens. That's who I'm talking about.
I mentioned
T.O. 1,000-yard season after 1,000-yard season after 1,000-yard season. OG in the league, 1,000-yard season. We talking about Larry Fitzgerald?
Larry Fitzgerald didn't pick teams apart. Larry Fitzgerald didn't pick teams apart. It's not about loyal. He didn't break down locker rooms.
I think Chris Carter has the best hands.
Randy Moss deserves to be along the golden elite of the wide receivers. Jerry Rice is the top man in the elite class. But we damn sure ain't bringing Larry Fitzgerald before we bring T.O. up in there. We damn sure ain't doing that.
Why not?
Yeah,
you didn't bring up T.O. I'm the one that said
I feel a certain way about that. I feel a certain way about Larry Fitzgerald. We mentioned before T.O.
Here's why I put Larry Fitzgerald ahead of T.O. though. Give me one thing that T.O. does better than Larry.
Give me one thing that Larry does better than T.O.
Everything except for speed. T.O. is just faster. Every other aspect of football, Larry was better. Better blocker.
You got to look at the quarterbacks that Larry had too.
Right. Better blocker, better route runner, better hands by far.
Hold on.
T.O. was like led the league in drops like multiple games.
Carson Palmer wasn't good?
Huh?
Carson Palmer wasn't good?
I mean, that's after the knee.
Kurt Warner?
He's not great. Kurt was good
for 1 year.
Kurt Warner for how long though?
Wait, hold on.
We had Matt Leinart for a while, bro.
Hold on. Jeff Garcia
better than Matt Leinart.
Okay, Donovan McNabb. Okay, who else?
He played how many teams? Like, he had plenty of different quarterbacks.
Who else?
All I'm saying is all of them are better than Matt Leinart, which was like the bulk of his career.
Those QBs better than what they were. We're not going to sit here and act like Larry Fitzgerald.
So did Larry.
Oh my God. Yo,
so did Larry.
Lovely man. T.O. better stop being respected and bring it to the party. All this class and citizenship.
I got it right here for you. I got it. He had Kurt Warner for third. He had Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer. Then after that, Josh McNown, John Skelton, Kevin Cobb, Matt Leinart, Josh Rosen, Tyler Murray for a little bit, Derek Anderson, Drew Stanton, Blaine Gabbert, Max Hall, Richard Bartell.
These are trash.
Yeah.
I didn't know 5 of them.
Yo, like 3 of those quarterbacks can't even sell insurance right now.
Dude, Fitzgerald in his career barely couldn't do anything. T.O. was still on the field producing.
So was Larry. What you mean?
What?
What are we talking about?
Look at Larry Fitzgerald's last 3 years in the NFL. Look at his last 3 years in the league. Look at his last 3 years in the league. Oh my God.
You just heard the quarterbacks he was getting, who was throwing to him.
He's respected, but there's no way he's coming into the crib before T.O. There's no way.
That's crazy.
Hold on. Is Fitz better than Calvin Johnson? Is Fitz better than Calvin Johnson?
That's a tough one.
That's somebody in his era now. Before we go to the next topic, Calvin Johnson or Fitzgerald?
Calvin, I mean, look, Larry had the better career. Calvin quit in his team. Bottom line, he pulled the barrier and bailed. And he had a quarterback with a gun the whole time.
Here's T.O.'s quarterback: Tony Romo, Steve Young, Donovan McNabb, Jeff Garcia, Carson Palmer, Drew Bledsoe.
Much better list. Much better list.
Hold on.
Much better list.
Hold on. Steve Young towards the end of his career. Jeff Garcia. We ain't even gonna talk about Jeff Garcia. Drew Bledsoe on the Cowboys. Cut it out. Tony Romo may be the most respectable QB on that list.
Bro.
Tony Romo might be the most respectable QB on that list.
That's fine. But everybody he just named is better than like 5 of Larry's quarterbacks. everybody he just named.
Dude had Carson Palmer, who was still rated as a good QB, and Kurt Warner. Those two alone beats anybody on that list of TOs.
But he had them for a small period of time where all those other guys were the bulk of his career.
He went to a Super Bowl with Kurt
Arizona's quarterback room was a rotating door.
Yeah,
and Larry still overcame and got records over that. So I don't know what the freaking the argument here is.
Yeah, Josh Rosen.
Yes, that part right there, Jamie. Larry made QBs look good.
Nah, baby. Hey, fellas, we can argue about this all night, man. But y'all gonna have
Gerald said bye.
Have me over here all night. Oh my God, man!
I guarantee if Larry had a star with his helmet, we wouldn't have had this convo.
Yeah, no, not at all. He'll always be my favorite receiver. To me, honestly, the only time I rooted for Larry, that on a real talk, was the Super Bowl night. When he had that crazy touchdown that night, I'm like, yo, I might think of him in a different light. But other than that, I can care less about Larry Fitzgerald.
That's a you problem. That's a you problem, then, because that man's a problem.
No, he's a problem. He's a great receiver, but I do a lot of people out there that's on that list better than him.
Also, the other thing is during like the height, like his peak, he also had to share with Anquan.
Yeah,
so,
he did.
He would have had more touchdowns. He had to share with Anquan. So,
come on, man. Hey, we had T.O. play with a QB that was trying to skim his numbers in Donovan McNabb. Come on, man. Come on. And he was still putting up numbers. Come on, man. But nah, man, real talk, man.
In terms of I'll say this, though. In terms of toughness, I don't know anybody tougher at the receiver position than Terrell Owens. I mean, Larry's there, but, like, this man T.O. came back with screws in his ankle and gave us the work in the bowl. Like, they didn't win, but he gave us work. So I respect him, man. I don't respect some of the things he did to his teams, but, like, and like that, I mean, that's part of how it goes.
I think that was overblown.
I wasn't paying
a little bit was, but like also like not all of it. That's the problem.
In Philly for sure though. McNabb's a tool.
McNabb is a tool, but he's also like
he's a mark.
He's also
he's definitely a mark.
I wasn't paying attention back then, but didn't T.O. leave the boys to go to the Eagles?
No, Eagles come here.
It was the other way around.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I don't like I said. I don't remember which way it went. So that made you happy. That's why you like him.
Then he was doing sit up in his driveway. That's my
quarterback.
quarterback.
Madden. This is Madden. Press O. Press O. Go long. T.O. Go long. You know what I'm saying? Like,
talk about go long. Randy Moss. Way easier. Let's go. Anyways, next topic. I guess that's going to be me, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, wait. You want to take a break before we do this? Or how we do it?
We're rolling to that and take a break and then hit the last segment.
Okay. So, damn, he's been here every other show. Where's Bobby today?
Right. I just noticed his name ain't popped up.
I'm running this topic and he's not here. I feel bad. I almost want to save it now.
Hey, shout out to Bobby for the topic. Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out to Bobby, man.
Like and share.
So I'm gonna have to go out and have some fun here. We're gonna take it out of sports. What is y'all favorite top 5 candies? And if you can't do 5, then do top 3. I invite the chat to hop in. I'll start with mine. Okay, so I love me a payday.
What?
I love me a payday.
No, I'm right there with him.
That's number 5. That's number 5, though.
Drop put a ranch on everything.
What? I hate ranch. Blue cheese, man. So number 5 is payday. Number 4, Snickers.
Okay.
You ain't hungry.
Number 3, Milky Way. And then number 2, Skittles. I love me some Skittles, man. And number 1 are them Jolly Rancher fruit chews.
Oh, those do go hard.
Oh my God, man.
I can F off a whole bag and don't realize.
I kick a baby for a box of those, man. $100 Griot. Jamie, I feel you. Right outside my top 5 was $100 grand. I love those.
Yeah.
Those are bomb.
God, can't go away from that. Definitely, we're not excited for Rihanna's halftime show.
Honorable mention, Mounds.
Whatchamacallit.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. He's bars go hard. I love some
Heat bars do
toffee.
go hard.
Bars.
Heat bars go hard, bro.
You got the taste buds of a 70-year-old man.
I like Werther's Originals.
Werther's Originals. Butter. But yo, that's what I'm saying. You got the heat bar right here. You know what I'm saying? You know?
You doing the bird, man?
You know what I'm saying? Got the heat bar. Y'all, this is going to be hard on us. ASAP. This is going to have fun with us.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. But old school, man, Werther's, man. I grew up with those.
So
grew up with those all in the crib, man. Grandmas had those in the pockets.
Butterscotch, let's get it.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely the Werther's hit the joint. Now, my mom was a fan of the Paydays and the Snickers, all that. I wasn't really a guy when it came to like all those peanuts inside of a bar. You know, not really my hype. You know, shout out to those candy bars. You know, they always make the Halloween list.
Too don't like Christmas candy.
Hold on. Yo, one last thing. It wouldn't be on my tops, but I guarantee you, Jake, when it came time when you could order, remember they used to do the candy sales at school, you could order from the catalog. I always ordered a 0 bar. Stop the hate. Stop the hate.
The packaging in the can, it's like a prep for a movie or a TV show.
It looked like it should just say candy bar on it.
Where's the M&Ms, man? M&Ms, man, was definitely, you know, M&Ms as times went, felt like the M&Ms kind of like took us. But I mean, peanuts are probably still popular. You know what I'm saying? And straight for the game, I would imagine. Me personally, underrated to me. I don't think a lot of people was on the wave, but I sure was. I couldn't go without a sugar daddy as a kid, man. I love the sugar daddies, man. I love the sugar daddies, man. The small ones.
Daddy can with some work, man. The sugar babies.
I should literally steal boxes. I should steal the boxes of the sugar daddies and just pin them all in my bag. I would have a bottle every morning. I would have a sugar daddy, but sugar daddies, one for me. I'm a fruity person too on the side. Fruit, you know what I'm saying? So you know, you go dark Skittles. You know, I'm actually into these new nerds. The Chewies, bomb, undisputed right now. They cost a lot of money. But real talk, I'm in the gummy worms. I'm in the candy. Like candy's like me. I'm Lamar older when it comes to candy. I love it.
Laffy Taffy. Oh wait, hold up. Before you finish too, someone said Laffy Taffy. The whole reason I picked what the candies were today was because last night, late at night, I had already eaten for the night. I'm done eating. I'm sitting here playing some games, about to go to bed. I got a little sweet tooth, and I'm like, normally I can ignore it, but it just kept messing with me. Like, yo, I want something sweet. I ain't had no candy in this house at all gone, no candy, no sweets or nothing. So what I do, I made some jail taffy.
What is that?
Yeah, bussin'. Anybody want to know what jail taffy is? You can check I'll tell you how to make it right here, but you can check my page to see how it's done. Bussin'. So you take the powdered coffee creamer.
Oh, you told us before.
Yep, coffee creamer. And then you take, for the flavor, you got to either use like the little 1 packets for the bottle of, like the Kool-Aids for a bottle of water, like the 1 packets. You can do one of those or just some powdered Kool-Aid, but make sure it has the sugar too, not just the Kool-Aid you got to add sugar to don't work. So yeah, some of that Kool-Aid, add the flavor in, just a little bit of water, start mixing it, whip it. You know what I mean? And then once it becomes like sort of solidified, then you knead it like bread. Yep. Then you knead it like bread for like 15 minutes. Bam, taffy. I got some over there. After the break, I'll bring it over here. I'll show you.
Did you said you used the Jolly Ranchers when you threw them on the ground, right?
And that's the other thing. So and then once you make it, right when it's still soft at the beginning, like before it hardens up, you crush up some hard candies, Jolly Ranchers, whatever hard candy you got, crush it up and then roll it. You roll it in the hard candy. You basically make nerd rope. It's crazy. Bussin'. But yeah, that's how you got to do it. I learned that when I was locked up.
So for me, I got it in no particular order.
Did Took finish?
Yeah, I'm good. We could go on this all night long, but that's a few candies out. I like that.
Snickers.
Yeah.
Kit Kat.
Oh, I forgot about the Kit Kats and Twix.
Like the
Twix.
box.
Twix is number 3 for me. I will probably say after that, I'm a big fan of the whatchamacallit. But if I had a go-to, now this one would be my number 1. It would be the chewable Jolly Ranchers.
He said the signature. Jesse's a fool. Wait, what was number 1? I read the comment and didn't hear. He's not lying. They got that weird like.
God, dog. He just stepped it up for me, man.
Oh my God. He's hilarious.
Keep those niggas away, yo.
Oh man,
that's my guy.
I don't want those niggas now.
Now we done with this niggas now, man. Now what was your number 1?
The chewable Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Have you had both flavors? Because they got the original and they got the tropical box.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm making sure. I should have known. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my go-to when
my fellow food connoisseur.
Thing, watching TV, don't want to go nowhere yet.
Yep.
This Valentine's Day season, man. Yo, the hugs bust too, dog. The white chocolate. Crazy.
I like the white chocolate and chocolate. The zebra
crazy.
Ones. The zebra ones are crazy.
Like 3 bags of those tonight.
Yeah, it's not good. Not healthy. I can do it.
I'm gonna eat 3 bags tonight. Not playing.
I can do some white chocolate. I like the white chocolate Kit Kats too. Those are crazy.
Yeah, those bomb. Kit Kats are bomb, dog. Kit Kats are bomb. Definitely throw them in the freezer. I like my candy. I like my chocolate in the freezer, dog. And chill.
100%.
Yeah, one of my snacks. I used to take the caramel bag of Chex Mix. I mean, because they got different, Chex Mix got different type of flavors. The caramel bag of Chex Mix, and then I'd break up the white chocolate Kit Kats, throw them in the bag, shake it all up.
That's the trail mix there.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I had to hope that I didn't grab a piece of paper that my wife needs, but I had to make a list just so I could remember what I was writing down. I didn't want to forget them.
Let's get it.
My honorable mention is a whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what those were until I was in high school, and those were fantastic. Number 5 is a tie between those. I think they were kind of like a lifesaver, but I think they were called cream savers. And it was
spray. Cream savers were
the strawberry and cream one was good.
Yeah.
And then also this is a throw in. I'm probably going to get capped on for this. But those old strawberry grandma candies, I love them things.
Oh no, the strawberry candies, nice. I got one on my floor right now.
In a pinch, those could get it done.
Oh yeah, I told Jamie about it. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you know this." Blah blah. She got on Amazon that day and bought a pack of 100 of them.
like last night, had I had a bag of those, I wouldn't have made it taffy. I'd have just those up.
Right. Number 4 is High Chew. I love High Chew.
Oh, High Chew's a ball. It's crazy. Great. I went at Boston University, and it was crazy because everybody was coming to the store with Asians, so they started building like the Asian section with like all the different candies and High Chews. Everybody coming with High Chew. So one day I took a bag, I bought them. I'm like, yo, crazy. So I definitely on that wave. The candies.
Oh yeah, they're good. My go-to ones are the green apple and the grape ones.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, green apple and grape are the best too.
Yeah.
Fun fact. I had High Chews before they hit the American market. My grandmother used to take in students from all over the world, all over the globe. And one of them was from Japan, and he got a care package sent to him from his family. And he was just like, I want you guys to try these. And he gave me the High Chews. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. You couldn't get them in America at that time. I was like 8 or 9.
Of course, the anime nerd says High Chew. Yeah, it works out like that, though. Number 3, y'all know, we all know Sweet Tarts, but did you guys ever see those big packs of 4?
Yeah,
big packs of 4.
It's
got the green one, the purple one, the yellow, and I think the red. Love that pack.
Yeah, that was working.
Because those things would last forever, and they were fantastic.
The banana.
They weren't hard, but they weren't chewy. They was like
exactly. It's like a sucker, and you had to wait on them for a minute.
Yeah.
So my man Jess, I used to love Now and Laters, bro, until they fully ripped out a filling of mine. Like just it pulled the filling clear out my tooth. Like just yeah. And and I didn't even realize I'm sitting there chewing like, I was like, what is in this now or later that tastes and feel like metal? I pulled the whole piece out. It was just metal all in it. It was my whole feeling.
Wow. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Busch in the slam. I heard about that yesterday for the gun. He said it was all good. We're going to be good. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Now, this is gonna get a laugh.
Mexico Slammer?
This is gonna get a laugh out of some people because I made sure I even put it right there. Number 2, Twixt, the left.
Yeah.
If I go into a vending machine and it says Twix right side,
I'm not
guess
doing
I'm getting
it.
Twix somewhere else.
You're a fool.
And number 1, first and foremost, and it's kind of why my stem or reason I don't dislike it, but I'm not a big peanut butter fan, so I don't put Reese's on the list because as a kid, my brother and sister got the Reese's. I was the youngest. I didn't get the pick of the litter. I got my favorite flavors of grape and orange because I always got the stuff that no one else wanted. Number 1, Kit Kat. Kit Kats will always be better than Reese's.
That in my mind. Though I love the Reese's stick. The Reese's stick bomb.
I love Reese's, but again, similar to you, but for different reasons. I was the only child, but I never got Reese's because my grandmother bought all the candy and she wasn't sharing Reese's with a soul.
Yeah.
I could be dying and all we have is Reese's. She ain't giving it to me.
My brother would get all the Reese's. My sister would get half the Reese's and half the Kit Kats, and I'd get the rest of the Kit Kats.
That's great. My birthday cake was Oreos. By the way, speaking since we're all being fat boys right now, have y'all seen it? Have y'all seen the new cookies and cream Oreos?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got them at the crib. They're crazy.
Hold on. I'm be real with you. I had the thing of confetti cake Chips Ahoy the other day, dog. It's all right. Wasn't bad. Chewy ones. I'm not really a fan of the chewy Chips Ahoy, but I bought them, just to explore. But they're pretty good, man. There's a lot of, like you said, and Will, you mentioned the international candies and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's websites now where you can get care packages of those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And, I had the Pockies before they got over here. Those sticks with the like yogurt on the top, like the hard yogurt on the top of them. I had those before they came over here. The long cylindrical cookies.
Yep, I remember
I had those before they hit the market.
Hey, if you guys want to try some different candy too, hit up to the box lunches and the Hot Topics. They got some crazy shit there too.
Yeah, they do. No, they got this section, man. And I went to a mall the other day, North Shore Mall up here. I'm on the North Shore, so it's in Peabody, and they have a store now where they have all that stuff, man. Wanting to pick my ride is going on.
My man Jess is bringing it today. That's great.
I need no least game. I'm going there this summer. I'm going to Cali this summer, man.
So I put Oreo flavor in your Oreo.
And I told you, I knew I was going to get capped on for that. Don't cap on me about the Reese's thing. I have an older brother and an older sister.
It wasn't
good shit.
Nah, it wasn't the Reese's thing. If anything, it was the strawberry candies.
It was the what?
The strawberry candies. But I'm with you on that.
Oh.
And Kawan, you're right. I am gonna have a bowl of them old ass candies in my house because ain't nobody. I'm not sharing the good candies with nobody.
That's $5.
That's how you learn how to do it. Yep. You leave the Werthers in the bowl. Go ahead, y'all can have those. Butterscotch, have fun. I don't have no good candy in my house.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, man. Hey, we can go.
Candy I go out and buy the Ghirardelli caramel chocolates for me, and Jamie ends up taking them all.
Yeah, well, that's just part of the life, man.
Now y'all gonna have me eating candy tonight. But guys, we gonna swirl in to the last break. Grab a candy bar right now while you at it, and we'll be back in about 15, 20 and get into this last topic, which is gonna be very entertaining. So come back with us.
Nice.
What's up, world? Kyrie Robinson, man. New Orleans Saints veteran. Hey, man, make sure you guys go check out my guy, man, STWF, the media, man. Check them guys out. Y'all want to get sports talks with players, with fans, anything like that, man, go check them guys out, man. That's the place to be if you want to talk sports. Who that nation?
Yes, sir. Let's go on and do this, man. Coming to the finish line. We're going to do a thing. I think Will probably going to enjoy this more than I am.
He knows it. Hold on, real quick. Got the jail taffy right there. You know what I mean? Little piece of the jail taffy. You know what I mean? A little taffy. I made it with Tang.
Okay.
Made it with Tang. It looked like a little animal has to be in the on the cover, the little monkey.
Hey, Jesse. When I'm old, all my hard candy dishes will have THC.
Mine too. Maybe if you don't
get that comment off. Get that comment off. Coach Lee, how come your wife don't come on here and cap on you when why's my wife got to go and do it?
So the last time we
she's part of the family, man. So that's what it is. Spaceship
as we ready to wrap up the chop up. This one here in particular is probably one of my favorite ones. I know Will and I have a commonality in this. We talked about it a little bit.
Jesse's gonna love this too.
But in no particular order, I just want to go through who my favorite comedians of all time. So I'm just gonna throw them out there, and y'all let me know if y'all familiar with their work. You can focus in on somebody, but let's go through this. First off, David A. Arnold, R.I.P.
Ooh, yeah.
Not
a lot of people know that, man.
Right. He was just getting his chance. We're gonna come back. Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, legend.
Earthquake. Bill Burr.
Bill Burr's unbelievable.
Russell Peters.
Okay.
Charlie Murphy.
Rest in peace.
The great Bernie Mac.
B. Mac, rest in peace.
George Carlin.
The legend, the man, the myth, the legend.
Dave Chappelle.
And I know who last is.
And Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy 10 list right there.
So
it's tough.
I got 3, and Jamie made me put in an honorable mention, but you finish up, and then I'll go into mine. But you go ahead and finish up.
So for me, the reason why I like these particular guys, first off, David A. Arnold, as we mentioned at the beginning, he actually, he went through the circuit. He down in the, he was down grinding, doing his thing. And during the COVID outbreak is when he started to get the big venues, starting to take off. He's working on shows, behind the scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a younger guy, man, but he passed away last year, September the 7th, at the age of 54.
Yeah, that's wild, man.
And he's from Cleveland.
Yes, he is.
So if you haven't had a chance to check him out, you have to go. Dude is hilarious, man. He talks about life, but he puts his twist perspective on it, like most of these guys do. But you definitely enjoy watching his stuff.
Absolutely.
Man, this one here, a lot of people ain't familiar with his work too much. But Mitch Hedberg is
an absolute murderer. Like, he gets on the stage. Like, if you caught him in the prime too, I'm talking about your side hurting. Like, he's a fool. He is an absolute fool. He got a few of my favorite bits too, like just individual bits. Not even like the whole thing, but just the individual bit. A few of my favorite joints, man. He's crazy.
He is known for what they call observational comedy.
Yep. Yes.
So it's gonna be some stuff you're gonna be like, you know what? You right about that.
Yeah. Or like, I never thought about that shit at all, ever. Like,
next, I had Earthquake. Earthquake's great in his own. I love the podcast that he did with Shannon. Gave a little bit of perspective on where he came from. From the DC area, which put out a lot of great comics from that area. But yeah, Earthquake's one of my boys, man. Bill Burr. I was kind of late to the game on him. I know familiar with him. I knew who he was. But like, to me, I enjoyed watching him in the Star Wars show.
Yeah, he was great in Mandalorian.
He was. He put his own spin on it.
Yeah, he played it. He played it how we would want him to play it, though. Like,
correctly.
Yeah,
correct. But then I started paying attention to him, and I went back and I started looking at it. Like one night, I looked at he had a recent one, but then I went back on, and I ended up watching like 3 more previous shows that he had, and they all were different. And he killed on every last one of them.
Everyone. His most recent was at the Red Rocks, which is outside, kind of, because I think it's in Colorado.
It is.
And it's outside. and even though it's outside, you could still hear him shake the room. Like, he is unbelievable, man. he's the one who put out the perspective on the perfect perspective on women's basketball and them calling everybody out about supporting them. He was like, go to the games. He was like, like in a metaphor. He was like, you want me to pick up your end of the couch too? It was crazy, man. Like he's perfect. He's one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah. This guy here, man. The first time I saw him was probably about 2019, maybe. It was right before COVID, but that's Russell Peters. The first time I actually saw him, and he had me killing over, man, just laughing my ass off. He's from Toronto, but he tells his perspective of growing up in a very strict household and how his parents probably wish he would have became a doctor or engineer or something like that, but he tells a joke and he's great at it. Obviously, this one here, I've had the pleasure to see this guy in person at the Improv. I like Eddie Murphy, but I rocks with Charlie Murphy, man. Eddie used to use some of the stuff when they grew up, telling stories. And I think he even said as much that his brother was funnier than he was.
Yeah,
and he's raw with it.
I recently saw a reel where it was Eddie on stage and he was just stalking the stage, walking around, and like it was in between the joke, and some girl was like, Eddie, I love you, and in the background you hear, shut up, bitch, and it was Charlie.
Yes, yo, dog. Charlie Murphy is CB4, dog. Oh my god.
Yeah.
One of the most funniest, dog. Yo. No, because like I said, man, it took me mad long. I mean, not all long, but like to know, like, damn, Charlie, and then they were brothers, and it's like, damn, this dude, like, a lot of people caught, Charlie, at kind of like the end of the peak. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's good to like be able to go back and watch like old school stuff. Where wasn't crazy name, but he was relevant. People knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how it was. I feel like in the comedian game, like it was a game where you may have somebody in your crew that was funnier, and they would put those guys on. You know what I'm saying? Put them guys into the scene and stuff like that. I feel like it's a lot harder nowadays.
One of the craziest, like Eddie's known for his impersonations. That's one thing he's great at. He can impersonate like real good. And his best impersonation, he says it himself. His best one is doing Charlie Murphy. Because he grew up with his brother, and all of these lines are just how his brother talked. Also, Charlie Murphy used to tell a great story about how he learned how to fight protecting Eddie. Because Eddie would be out there doing his thing or whatever whenever they went somewhere, and that's his little brother. So he was like, people would come at Eddie and they'd be big as hell. And he said he'd go out there, well, I'm his big brother, so it don't get no bigger than me. To him, I gotta handle it. And he was like, that's how I learned I could knock out motherfuckers bigger than me. Charlie Murphy, he's a legend, man. He's a real legend. Rest in peace.
Next up, we got Bernie Mac. Gone way too soon.
Way too soon.
Him, I think for me, my introduction to him was on Def Comedy Jam. I know he had been around, before then, but just the way he just commanded the audience, he would kill it every time he was out there.
Raw. It was raw and authentic. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he spoke, and like you said, the attention, his voice, gravitated, it grabbed the room. You had to listen to what he was saying because you didn't want to miss it. The little voice come in sometimes, and then it peaks back up. Like, no, he was one of the originators to me, man. One of the funniest, one of the first funniest people I've ever encountered in terms of watching comic television. So shout out to Bernie Mac, man. Gone way too soon, man. He was definitely, and again, he was the best comedian on that on that tour, with Steve Harvey. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite stories about Bernie was there was a set, apparently it was a bunch of heavy hitter comics there that night. Like all of the greats were there pretty much, or most of them for that era right there. And anybody who does comedy, and other comedians tell the story all the time. And anybody who does comedy will tell you like sometimes the crowd gets in a bad mood, or the crowd is in a bad vibe, or like a certain comic loses the crowd. And once the crowd goes, it is hard to bring them back because now they overjudge you. They're over like they feel like they're getting gypped. They feel like whoever's out here isn't really bringing it, whatever the case may be.
That's an unforgiving gig.
Right. So it's one of the hardest gigs ever. First of all, the number one fear in all of Americans is public speaking. So it's that by yourself, but you're not just public speaking. You're trying to get a reaction, trying to get laughs, whatever. So I guess there was a bad set. The crowd was killing every comment that went out there. Nobody could do nothing. And Bernie Mac came out and looked them all dead in the eye. I was like, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. I ain't scared of none of y'all. And then went on. And when he did that, it kind of broke the tension because they were like, damn, well, like we over here shaking all these comics, but now we can't shake Bernie. And then Bernie killed it for like 10, 15 minutes and then just left. But yeah, man, Bernie was a legend. He was one of the greatest. Like his storytelling was hilarious.
Absolutely.
Sam Kinison was great.
George Carlin is my top 3.
Yeah.
I know I say in no order, but you kind of picked up where I was going with it.
Yeah, sure. I figured out how that was happening towards the end.
But George Carlin, hey man, just from the obviously the comedy was there, but the perspective that he put on stuff is like in the times we're living in now.
And it's timeless. It worked
in
any era.
It does. And he was just calling it like it was, even if he was doing his thing right now with cancel culture, I think he would still be untouchable.
No, because he had ripped cancel culture apart. That's the problem. Like you can't cancel a guy who's canceling everything else already. Like he's the one calling shit out. So like cancel culture ain't nothing but calling somebody out for messing up or what you think is messing up. But he's already calling out all of it. And Bill Burr did a good job too with the whole Me Too thing. He was like, I think we got them all.
Do we have more though? Do we have more?
Probably not, but the way he said it, like the way he dropped it was a crazy ball.
It was a philosopher. For me, I could be wrong, but I get a feeling that the way he did his comedy, that Bill Maher is like ripping off what he did.
Yeah. Nah, they think it's a thing. They just know there's levels to it.
I mean,
cancel culture.
You have to your mind, like as a comedian, like it may be on your mind in terms of the cancel culture thing, but you have a job to do. You have a job to do, and that's the most like intriguing part about being a comedian. Like especially in this culture now, like you have a job to do. You have to entertain and fun. You know what I'm saying? What at the end of the day.
And then the last two, they kind of go hand in hand, but one is obviously the GOAT because of what he said. But before him, Dave Chappelle. Anything that I've been rocking with Dave Chappelle since the Def Comedy Jam when he came out. He had on the graffiti pants and the oversized shirt.
17 years old.
Yeah. He started very, very young. He was killing it in clubs while he was in high school. Dave just pretty much, he's recent. He's still active. But Dave's my guy.
No, Dave, legendary. They like anybody that grew up in the last 15 to 20 years. If the respect for Dave Chappelle's not there, then you haven't been woke. You haven't been woke. Guy that told the whole world in the next 20 years and was sent to Africa for doing it.
No, he wasn't sent. He went.
No.
He took off.
Yeah. Took off, but that's the reason why I take it off. He wanted to give us more Edge and Stone, but then the company and him couldn't really agree to certain things.
He wanted more money. Yeah.
This guy, and then came back out, and I went 2020 went to his 2021 actually went to his stand up. It was the first one at Foxwoods. First show on the tour, so it was great. And it's the way he had the fans, man. He can talk. He's like the legitimate guy that can talk about all the stuff that nobody wants to talk about, and he's gonna speak on it. And
I know this.
He holds heavy. Yep, go ahead.
I know this last comment is Josh, and you're out of your damn mind. Chris Rock hasn't been funny in like 15 years.
Definitely has not.
Not since bigger and blacker. That's it. That was the last time he was funny.
Exactly.
Osmosis Jones was cool.
And I'm talking about movies, not even. It's a good movie. He wasn't funny in it though.
No, you get old. You become a comedian.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, old man.
Like he's good in movies, but he's never even funny. He was terrible in the what's the movie with Adam Sandler, the family movies that they always go to. Grown Ups. Not even a single joke. Not funny at all. He's not funny.
He was the serious character in that movie.
It's because they know he's not funny anymore.
Chris Rock's trash.
And the last one is the GOAT, in my opinion.
Pryor.
Richard M.F. Pryor.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, Richard.
He's one that pretty much
the Exorcist bit was hilarious.
Yeah,
he's the one that told the guy that was kind of seen as the goody-goody, the head of the totem pole, Bill Cosby, to pretty much F off. He ain't changing for nobody. You don't like it, don't listen. And now in hindsight, with everything that transpired, look like Richard was right.
Because Richard knew.
He knew.
And a lot of people knew it, let it happen. So
yeah. But that's me, fellas. So the floor is yours.
You can go ahead, Jake. I know you got to go.
All right. I actually honestly don't have no particular order. And then I got one that I believe was a comic before he's doing what he's doing now. Mm-hmm. And I would say he's probably Richard Pryor Jr., in my opinion. So I will name number one because we just talked about him. Yes, Richard Pryor. 100%. My dad turned me on to Richard Pryor and Bernie Mac back when I was a kid, listening to it back when I probably shouldn't have been listening to it. And like I told Coach, as soon as I heard the whole Exorcist bit going all the way through it, and just the way he said Cleveland, I freaking lost it. I'm like, the way he puts his emphasis on his words and the jokes he rolls through with, classic. Instant classic, and his time was his jokes are still funny to this day. Y'all know about that Chinese finger torture?
Yeah.
Ralphie May?
Yeah.
Yes,
Ralphie May's unbelievable.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
I had recently, like within the last 2 years, found out who Ralphie May was. I'm pretty sure my dad showed me him back when, but I have a hard time remembering some stuff. I've been through tons of this dude's skits. My favorite one was the airport one when he was talking about the damn drug dogs. I was like, he's like, he's just staring at me. Just a fat white dude up on stage saying the funniest shit.
And he would attack racism all the time. He was like, there was no racism in my neck of the woods. It was just Poe. He was Poe.
He was one of the good ones. I love Ralphie May. He is fantastic. And then Dave Chappelle, yes. I love Dave Chappelle. I like when he did the movie skits and everything. And my favorite one was the which one was it? It was the hold on, don't worry. It was the I'm trying to figure out how to say it. I think it was the supermarket one. And he was saying, this is how you don't do customer service. And it was the bigger black lady. They were like, this is how you not treat customers. She's running behind, whoop his ass.
Yeah.
Losing my mind. I'm like, this is great. Because the white dude hops over the counter and starts fighting, and she just comes out of nowhere.
That was the reason in this world for people muttering words that they shouldn't mutter and things like that.
That's how man.
Dave Chappelle he probably put the world in the same time in a funny light. But
my favorite family.
Controversy sells, man, and that's one thing the thing was, man. Controversial.
And mine, and then I told you Jamie's got an honorable mention in here she wanted me to say, but my fourth one, and I'm almost 100% positive he started out doing comedic stuff, and then he went on to do Family Feud. Steve Harvey.
Harvey was a beast. Yeah,
Harvey is still gold to this day, still coming up with random stuff. His reactions are what get me, and then it's followed by what he says. Whenever someone says something stupid, the throwing of the card. The dude's just naturally funny.
Yeah, his energy is crazy.
He got most of his stuff in the way he wanted to be. I believe from where I was reading a biography was he was a huge and loved Richard Pryor. Mm-hmm. Is why he had the stash and everything. I mean, he was that's awesome. And Jamie's honorable mention that she wanted me to throw in here because we were talking about it. She wanted me to say Fluffy.
Fluffy! Yeah, Fluffy's a legend. Fluffy's a legend. He packs stadiums like he does.
Yes.
Like the whole 80,000 is in there.
She wanted me to throw in Fluffy for her. She hopped off the live to watch basketball, but she did want me to make sure that she's like, hey, I know I'm not on the podcast, but will you throw Fluffy in there for me when I brought it? I was like, yeah, I'll say Fluffy.
Absolutely.
So,
he's worthy. He's worthy.
Yes, but those were my 4. I originally only had 3, but I'm like, Steve Harvey's a comedian. He can be in there, and I need
Yeah.
4 for Mount Rushmore.
100%.
So that's mine right there. You got Richard Pryor, Ralphie May, Dave Chappelle, and Steve Harvey.
I can dig it.
Shut up, watch. Oh, and hey, real quick, Coach Lee is right. I got to hop off because I got to get ready to go to work. But my shout out is to you guys, everyone commenting. You guys were absolutely freaking killing it in the comments section. Tu and Coach, we had a funny time in the green room. Be ready for the Nothing But Basketball show tomorrow. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let all your friends know. Share it out when you see it. And I will see you guys all tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Holla. Have a good night at work.
Lou, bro.
Jake. Stay for him. All right, go ahead, bro.
Oh, man, I was just rounding on, kind of the guys that you was naming is kind of on my flow, man. I'm about to put 1 or 2 other people in there. Cat Williams was another guy.
Cat was a killer.
He's having comedies from look, to his voice. And I think the voice is what gets everybody. And then whatever you say after that sometimes can be funny, but he was able to do that. I mean, he went through his times where he went through the decline, but, he was always a funny guy. There's one guy, he's probably still funny today. We sit next to him. So, Cat, I'm an early Kevin Hart fan. Not really this Bond new stuff.
Yeah,
but
the later half got difficult. Yeah,
Kevin Hart on the grind was a funny guy too. For sure. Shout out to the Wayne brothers, man. Shout out to all the Wayne brothers. Keenan Ivory. My funniest Wayne is Marlon. Marlon's just a different kind of funny. Like back in the day, from the Wayne brothers show to the movies he was in, man, it's always this funny.
I think Marlon
dying all the time. I wasn't really a fan of Sean, but he's in the family tree, so you gotta give all that family respect.
He barely funnier than his sister.
Yeah. Seriously. Sean was better acting as funny. He wasn't as good as he tries, but it's all right. So look, the main reason I wanted to go last is because I knew all the obvious names were gonna get put out there, and I does this comedy thing in terms of I am all over watching all these different comedians. So I wanted to pick some names that I didn't hear from y'all.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick a bunch of names. Now I love everyone that y'all named. I'm on board with all of them. They're all great comics, and if I had to put them in order, they'd probably be similar to your orders with a few rearranged here and there. But to name some ones that haven't been named today. Probably my favorite right now, just in the moment, Andrew Schultz. This kid he's a murderer. He's up and coming. He's younger. He had his podcast called Flagrant, which is funny. It started off as a sports podcast. They called it Flagrant 2. And it started off with him and a couple of his comedian buddies talking about sports. But they're so funny and they talk so much shit that it just morphed into more, and they're comedians. So it morphed into just covering topics in general. They basically cover the news every week or every 2 times a week. And they just tell jokes for every news story. But their style of comedy is really crowd work. So it's off the top. Not they write their sets and everything, but they're best when they're just coming up with it in the moment. So that's where him, Akash Singh, and Mark Gagnon are the 3 on that podcast. They kill it together. Who else we got from that hasn't been named today? So Andrew Schultz. Bo Burnham, Jesse brought up. Bo Burnham, he's the one who does the songs. So all of his comedy is in music form, but he writes crazy songs, and he's hilarious in them. And it's awesome. So he basically did one called Inside, where during the pandemic, he was inside like we all were. He basically was in his parents, either rented a house or his parents, above his parents' garage. And he basically had a house to himself, and he never left, just stayed in there with a keyboard. He did all the music, the making of the music, the lyrics to these songs, and the lighting. He was doing crazy lighting for these songs too. He made hits. You should definitely go see that. It's on Netflix.
Bo Burnham?
Yeah, Bo Burnham. It's called Inside. Jesse wrote it right there if you need the spelling for it.
Okay.
Yes, Taylor Tomlinson's hilarious. Who else we got? Let me think. Bert Kreischer. That's the fat boy who takes your shirt off all the time. One of my favorites. I've seen him twice live. He always puts on a great show. He's great with telling stories.
He's English. He's from England. No.
No, not Kreischer. There's some other English ones too, but
okay.
who else? Man, I had so many in my head that I should have wrote them down because I'm like, I won't forget these, and here I am on the spot forgetting. Bert Kreischer. Yeah, you said Bill Burr. Who else we got? Oh, Martin. Nobody brought up Martin. I thought was crazy. I thought that was interesting that nobody brought up Martin. Martin was one of the greatest comics like ever during that run. That same run of Def Comedy Jam. He basically was one of the main ones during that period of time.
He was the best host they had.
Yeah. Also, a Boston native. Well, apparently he was born in New York, but he was raised in Boston, went to Westie. Patrice O'Neal. There's a few comics that'll tell you Patrice O'Neal might have been the greatest ever. He just died. He didn't make it. He got too big and he had diabetes and it killed him or whatever. So that was tough for him. Let me think. Oh, I got so many, man.
What do you think about what's his name? Hassan Minaj.
Hassan Minaj is pretty good, but like I don't know. He's missing something for me, but he is good. He's a talented talent. I think it's his delivery is.
I think he was better on Patriot Act than he was in the stand-up.
Yeah, for sure. Better. He's better when he has a topic to approach versus him having to come up with the whole con. I was getting ready to say that. Brian Regan is another one. Brian Regan is a legend, low key. I forget the name of his first special. There's one special where he talks about being a kid. He was like, I hated spelling bees. He was like he basically was like, yo, let's line the kids up and make in front of so you can spell a word wrong and get embarrassed in front of your friends. He's like, I always wanted out. So first round it'd be like cat, K-A-T, I'm out of here. He was like, then I walked by my friend, like I know there was two T's. Like, yo, he was just he was hilarious, man. And he just another great comic. Who else? Man, there's so many. Old school one, Ronnie Dangerfield.
Oh
yeah. Let me see. I just wanted to come and make sure. Obviously, Eddie. Wait, you didn't say Eddie, did you? Yours? Interesting, because Eddie, I feel Eddie stopped too early and started making movies. But he had two of the greatest.
Raw and Delirious
are two of the greatest ever.
I watched that as a kid in the 4th grade.
you had all the jokes in school. Huh? It was wilding. I saw somebody say Red Fox earlier. That's what's up.
Yep.
Low key, I mean, he got boxed in by a show, but Jay Leno was hilarious. Jay Leno could really as a comedian, he was real good. We just didn't see a lot of it because he was always on the show.
Yeah.
Let me see. I literally had a bunch of names. Obviously, like I said, I'm trying to say people that we didn't have, like Dave Chappelle, D.L. Hughley, Colin Quinn.
D.L.'s better when he's tapping on folks.
Right, yeah, he's a better. That's the same with Jeff Ross. Jeff Ross is another one who, he's a great comedian, but he was better on the roast. Greg Giraldo, another one who was better on the roast. Like, when it came to roasting people, unbelievable. Man, I could have did a whole show on this, honestly. And I would have.
What do you think about Louis C.K.?
Louis is a legend.
How about Steve Martin?
Steve Martin's great. But Steve Martin was more on the goofy side,
slapstick.
Yeah. Greg Giraldo was great because he stopped being a lawyer to be a comedian. Like, he gave up a whole career as a lawyer just to come out and give bars. And they were funny. It's a cup with dirt in it. I call it cup and dirt. That's from Brian Regan. That's what I'm saying. You got to see that. Sam Silverman, solid. Jon Stewart. Norm Macdonald was the weirdest comic I've ever seen because his delivery and the things he would talk about, you'd be like, what is he? But it was genius stuff, though.
There's got to be Josh over here with this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know Josh Post when I see one. Ricky Gervais, 100%. Whitney Cummings, yep. Yeah, Nick DiPaolo is the one who's all right, dude. Yeah, DiPaolo's a maniac. Who else we got? I just want to. Oh, Jim Brewer. He's the high guy from Half Baked. The one who was like, Jan, thank you, Jan.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's Stephen Brewer. He was Stephen Wright was hilarious too. He's like, I spilled spot remover on my dog. Now he's gone. Yeah, yeah, let me see. Yeah, Louis C.K. is, man, he caught it bad when he got canceled, but he's back out. Who else, man? Yeah, man. So like, I love comedy in general, man. It's just.
What do you think about Seinfeld?
Seinfeld's a great, clean comic. Like, I just think my problem with Seinfeld is that the show blew his head up so big that like he's kind of like I don't know, like he thinks he's the greatest thing to ever be given to comedy, and it's like, all right, bro, like you're good, but there's funnier dudes than you.
In your show and your cast, made the show. Like,
yeah, I mean, but a lot of it was based on his comedy too. Like, based
on his comedy, definitely.
Also, the show wasn't as good when Larry David wasn't writing. Larry David's the real genius behind that show. Yeah,
sorry. I mean,
absolutely. When it comes to this, I like Joe Rogan. He hasn't put out a special in a while, but he's gonna put another one out soon. I like more what Joe Rogan does for comedy than his comedy is funny. But what he does for comedy is unprecedented.
Yeah,
he puts, if you get on his show, you're on. He puts people on like every time now, and he loves doing that. He loves helping people out. Nate Bargatze, you ever heard Nate Bargatze? He's a clean comic, but his observational comedy is hilarious. Like it's real good stuff.
Oh, this dude over here, disrespectful LeBron, man.
Who?
Like LeBron practicing the hook shot. Like,
that's funny.
They trying to flame Kareem.
Mark Maron's another one. He's an older dude. Yeah, Jesse got some harsh stances on comedians here. Because he said he sits on a stool, but like he doesn't do it all the time. He's like usually for a certain bit. But yeah, man, that's just to name a few. Like I said, I could do this all night because I love comedy. I love all these comics. Chris D'Elia is another one. Tim Dillon. If you don't know some of these people, then use this podcast to go
check it out.
Them. Yeah, go research them. Check them out, man. Because
I got a choice between looking at a football game and a good stand-up comic, I'm probably gonna go look at the comic.
Yeah, mainly because after I can go back to the football game, like it's still gonna be on. The stand-up's usually only about an hour. Like I can watch that and then get back into the end of the game where it's good anyway.
Good stuff.
But yeah, man, that's a great topic. Like I said, I might do a whole chop up show one day, just all about comedy and other stuff. We can get deeper into it. You want a stand-up show? I am so down. Yeah, for sure. We can do that. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did that a couple times. But I like that as a prop. I like that when you can use something that's already supposed to be there as a prop. That's what's up. Yeah, man. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody that I really like.
Hold on. You took me to the day show, but other than that, I had to pay for my own ticket. I had to do all that. What I like, you know what I'm saying? If I got a ticket to Dave Chappelle, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I kind of got edged into that Dave Chappelle show by you, but it was a good show. It was a great show. But we kind of started seeing. It was a good show, but the decline of Dave Chappelle. But it's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? The game is old. Then they eliminate what you can do and what you can say. Then obviously what you said, you're still gonna say what you want to say. And then the whole rest of the time is you being in odds with Netflix and all the other people about what you're saying. So, I mean, other than that, was a great show. was a great show to enjoy. I love Dave Chappelle, so I wouldn't have not enjoyed it because of Dave.
I disagree, Jesse, especially if you do it right. There is a certain manner in which it's a crutch, but if you do it right, if you use it in the midst of a story, which he does, like in the way that you tell a story, I agree. Like, especially like, remember that cat? I don't know if you remember that Cat Williams bit where he's talking about being on the bike. He was like, so I got on my bike and I'm all in my glory. And it was like, and it rained out today. And I'm in the middle of the road. And then he acted like he crashed the bike. He crashed and it fell on top of him. And he uses the stool. That was genius. He also used the stool when he pretended to be the lion creeping from behind his stool.
He used that stool a lot of times, and that's the
right. Like if you do it right, it's genius, not a crutch. It's all about how you do it. And when Joe Rogan used the stool, he used it like he was perched on the edge of a bed of one of the Kardashians. And he basically was saying that he was one of the Kardashians. He was acting like he was a devil spawned like bird. And he was acting like he was whispering in Bruce what's his name? Bruce Jenner's ear for years until it made him turn to a woman. So like it's genius the way he did it. It's genius the way he did it.
That's the same one he talked about taking the edibles in it.
I think so. Maybe that one was from.
I think the edibles, and he went jet skiing or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but Dave got caught up in himself and his ego. But then Chris just literally didn't give no product and gave nothing. So Dave was still active. Despite the ego, Chris kind of just like, we wouldn't be talking about Chris Rock. Will Smith made him relevant again. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith did him a favor.
Honestly, I heard since the slap, he's been killing.
Yeah, it woke him up.
So, which tells me exactly what we all expected. He, after Bigger and Blacker, and then doing the movies, he lost the hunger.
Turned Hollywood, yeah.
Well, he lost Hollywood, if you want to call it, but also he just lost the hunger for like being great, and then he got smacked, and now like he's mad again, he's hungry again. So
right,
that's where a lot of people's downfalls come. A lot of people's downfalls start coming when you start in these movies. You're getting these big time movies and stuff like that. Like it's kind of like people think like, why go back to that? But that's the grind. That's where you come from. Standing.
A lot of the true comedians never forget about the stage. That's what that's what they love doing. The movie just because it can make big money, but what they want to do, what they love to do, is stand up comedy.
See, what Dave did was Dave went into a movie, but it wasn't like I'm gonna do 90 different movies. You know what I'm saying? He went back to the comedian scene. Went back there, and some people can do that, some people can't do that. Obviously,
he was about to lose himself. I think they just got so angry how everything went down with the show. And the telling thing is when he said the writer, laughed a little bit too hard at the joke.
Yeah, some of the N-word jokes.
Yeah, and that kind of snapped him out of it because he was headed down the same path of like I ain't calling him out, but kind of like Kevin Hart to an extent.
Yeah. He wrote that movie. Yeah, he wrote that movie. What's his name? The other comedian. Didn't he write it with the Three Mics guy? I forget his name right now. SNL, you guys.
Talking about?
Half Baked. Yeah, he wrote that with.
Yeah, the guy that wrote with him on the Chappelle show.
Yeah. I forget his name though. I'm blanking right now. It's annoying me. Neil Brennan. There it is. Neil Brennan. Yeah. Him and Neil Brennan. Neil Brennan's another genius comedian, honestly. I feel so bad for that dude. He has the most tortured soul. Like, he just cannot be happy.
None at all, Jacob. None at all. Not from the SNL guys, top 5.
Not from recently. Like, way back, some of those guys were really funny. Like, I mean, Adam Sandler was funny back in the day on SNL. The problem is that a lot of those guys aren't true stand-ups. They're just comedic actors and sketch guys. But yeah, Neil Brennan's newest special, I think it's called Blocks. It's a nice concept one. It's a little depressing at the end, but it's funny as hell though. And that's crazy because that's the guy who wrote with Dave Chappelle. So yeah, man, it's been great, man. I can do this anytime, man. Oh, also Jim Jeffries is another great one. Jim Jeffries, and it's a guy that I know I'm forgetting. I love him, and I can't remember his name right now. But Yeah, so Chris Farley was a great comedic actor. I don't know how much he was at stand-up. He was a great comedic actor, but I don't know about the stand-up. I don't know how much he did stand-up.
Yeah, man, different levels to it.
And
man.
he was taken too soon, clearly.
Make a crowd laugh, for real.
David Spade was pretty good. But yeah, man, this is a great topic. Definitely. As you expected, I definitely was gonna run further with this than
hey, but I throw it out there for, man. To promote talk, so we can chop it up.
Chop it up. You already know.
Who got shout out tonight?
Chop up for the chop up.
Shout out to these ribs I'm about to go tear up.
Ribs and Jailhouse Tevin.
Yes, sir. That's what's happening. Shout out to my man Jess for showing up heavy. He likes this is his favorite show is to come to the chop up. That's my childhood friend. So yeah, Star Roast is great too. But yeah, it's always they're all our people when they come in, but it's great to have my childhood friend in here when I'm doing my thing too. So
man.
Shout out to everybody who showed up.
Shout out to everybody that tuned in, man. Definitely, man. Anybody that tuned in just for the chop up tonight, man, tune in for other shows as well, man. Chop up is definitely one of our gyms. You know what I'm saying? We come out, we don't have to be all the way in the sports element, and into other things in life that we appreciate and do or like to do in our spare time. So, again, man, like, share, subscribe, STWF Studios, get into the groups, Sports Talk with Friends, follow the podcast page, Sports Talk with Friends podcast, man, as we come out, daily with new product and, trying to, light the world on fire. And hope you guys are enjoying the ride this fall.
100%.
Shout out to you fellas. Shout out to Night, everybody that was on here with us. We saw Kawan, Bayou Boys, Londo, Josh, Jamie, Jesse, Chris. We had two Jesses on here tonight, I think. Bernard and Kyrie. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. This is the play call sheet's my thing, but this is a close.
This chop up is turning up. It's been turning what it is that the chop up always has potential to do this, whereas the play call sheet requires mid-season action, pretty much.
Yeah.
In the mid-season, because early in the season, it ain't gonna be too crazy. Everything's pretty basic. We're figuring out the league. Then it turns into like mid-season where the meat comes. Then the end of the season, again, it starts to trail off because we know what's going to happen. Right. We've been talking about the same stuff for the last couple of weeks before that. And then you get the playoffs. But yeah, this has potential to be the best show because every week it's just about, all right, like, what are we tossing up in the air to chop up, man?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight, man. It's always therapeutic. Also, make sure y'all here tomorrow, 7:30, for the Number Basketball Show. Trade deadline is Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Left and right. So, make sure y'all tune in with the boys. Hang out with us. We're going to talk NBA. We're going to talk NCAA. Or whatever y'all want to talk about if you hang out with us. Comments driving.
Team Killer Kai.
You ain't the gangster job. You ain't the gangster job.
Gangster job, yeah, oh yeah.
Y'all take care.
We appreciate y'all hanging out with us, man.
Watch LeBron break the record, man. Watch LeBron break the record. He doing sky hooks already. He doing sky hooks.
Yo, I hope he busts one for the final point. Like come across the middle like magic. It'll be crazy.
We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be out. Hey.
Yeah.